You are listening to PastThink.com audiobook. Please like and subscribe, thank you. Chapter 91. Kong Ming offers sacrifices at the Lu River and takes his army home. Chow Pai dies. Meng Huo looks at the storms swirling around the Shu army and divines immediately that this is caused by malicious spirits who must be pacified by offering sacrifices. When Kong Ming asks what kind of sacrifices, Meng Huo replies, in the past, when these malicious spirits were driven crazy, lashing out in all directions, the only thing that worked was to offer 49 human heads, 7 times 7, plus a black ox and a white goat. Kong Ming is loath to shed more blood, but he knows the army is deeply troubled and anxious. When the local people are asked why they think this is happening, they tell him they believe the trouble is caused by the ghosts of those soldiers, both Shu and Man, who died in the river. They have heard terrible cries and shrieks ever since the battle, as well as seen strange ghostly shapes and eerie mists. They tell him yet again that only human sacrifice will work. To this Kong Ming replies, but these ghosts are from men who've died, so why would more deaths be of any use? To be honest, I've a much better plan. He has 49 fake heads created by molding dough stuffed with meat. These he offers in a ceremony in the middle of night, wearing his Taoist robes. A long proclamation is formally and ritually read out to appease the souls of the dead. Through this Kong Ming apologizes unreservedly for the deaths he has caused. At the climax of the ceremony, Kong Ming cries out aloud in anguish, and the whole army is moved to tears at his distress. At this soulful sound the ghostly shapes begin to disperse, and the following day the army crosses the river safely. At long last and after many months of travel they arrive back at the capital, Chengdu. The second ruler rides out far beyond the city walls to welcome the triumphant army and its leader home. Great is the rejoicing, and as a result over 200 foreign cities send tribute acknowledging the power and mighty reach of the new kingdom. The second ruler fulfills Kong Ming's wish that all those families who have lost someone in the war will be cared for. Meanwhile, back in the kingdom of Wei, Chow Pai has been reigning for 7 years. Chow Pai has a son, Chow Rui, whose mother, Lady Zhen, the first wife and empress of Chow Pai, was killed by his father. This was wrought through a terrible plot contrived by a concubine, Lady Gua, who wanted to be empress. When Chow Pai fell dangerously ill and looked as if he might die, she claimed this was due to witchcraft practiced by Lady Zhen. After the murder of his mother, Chow Rui was brought up by the new empress, as she had no children of her own. In the autumn of AD 226, Chow Pai falls seriously ill. Gathering the 3 most senior military commanders, Chow Zhen, Chen Kun and Sima Yi, to his deathbed, he instructs them to help the young Chow Rui to become emperor and to guide him as he grows into manhood. Having made sure of this, Chow Pai sheds a tear and dies. He is 40 years old and has reigned for 7 years. Chow Rui is enthroned as the new Wei emperor, and all the formal responsibilities are given to the loyal supporters of the dynasty. In particular, Sima Yi asks to be made governor of Xiliang and the western regions, and his wish is granted. When the news reaches Kong Ming in Shu, he is surprised, but not troubled by the accession of the young man. But he is alarmed by the rising power of Sima Yi. As a result, he starts to plan to attack Wei before they have a chance to develop their armed forces, especially those under the control of Sima Yi. However, Ma Su advises against this. The men are still exhausted after the southern expedition, and anyway I've a plan which will destroy Sima Yi at the hands of Chow Rui. Do you want to know what this plan is, sir? Kong Ming, of course, wants to know, so Ma Su points out the lack of faith Chow Rui has in Sima Yi, whom he sees as a schemer. Let's spread rumors in all the major cities that Sima Yi is plotting a rebellion, and let's post up fake proclamations as if from Sima Yi calling for rebellion. So this is what they do. One day such a proclamation is found nailed to the main city gate of Yeqing. It is taken to Chow Rui, who reads that, according to this poster, his father apparently wanted Chow Ji to become the next emperor. Apparently, again according to this poster, because of a charge of treason he was passed over, and instead Chow Rui was enthroned, a man with no discernible virtue. The poster then goes on to say that in order to fulfill Cao Cao's original intentions, Sima Yi has no option but to overthrow the current ruler in accordance with the wishes of heaven and the people. The fake proclamation creates great anxiety in the court, and advisor Hua Xian recalls that, "The great August emperor told me that Sima Yi has the eyes of an eagle and the stare of a wolf, and that he would bring disaster upon the dynasty if he had the power." Debate rages. Some say, strike now. Others say, don't believe a word of this. Sima Yi is not a rebel. This all smacks of a plot by the Shu or Wu to destabilize the empire. In the end it is agreed that Cao Rui will go on imperial inspection to Ani, where Sima Yi will have to officially receive him. Cao Zhen says, watch how he behaves, and if he shows signs of revolt, seize him then and there. So with 100,000 soldiers Cao Rui goes to Ani. In all innocence and wanting to impress the Son of Heaven, Sima Yi brings thousands of his troops, cavalry and infantry to greet Cao Rui. Cao Rui leads the imperial vanguard, and when he meets Sima Yi he demands to know why he is in rebellion. Sima Yi is appalled at this accusation and swears that this must be the work of Wu and Shu. To show goodwill he orders his army to retire. However, not even Sima Yi's bowing deep before the imperial carriage has the desired effect. On Hua Xian's advice Sima Yi is stripped of his post and ordered to return to his ancestral village, a huge disgrace. Hua Xian takes over his army. When Kong Ming is told of what has happened he is delighted, because he is fearful of invading Wei if Sima Yi has an army. So now he persuades the second ruler to go to war. He presents him with a formal petition in which he urges the second ruler to carry forward the intentions for reunification of the empire that his father espoused. The second ruler expresses his anxiety that, having so recently undertaken the arduous war in the south, Kong Ming would be pushing himself too far in undertaking this new war in the north. Even though astrological warnings are cited, Kong Ming still insists that heaven changes all the time, and this is indeed the time to strike. And so it is finally agreed to launch the war on Wei. Once again Kong Ming takes the role of supreme commander. Consulting the astrological charts, he decides that the attack should start on an auspicious day in spring AD 227. As they are about to set out, Zhao Zilong steps forward and demands to be included in the invading army. Despite Kong Ming's best efforts to dissuade the old general, Zhao Zilong insists and wins the right to be in the vanguard. One of the officers, Deng Ji, offers to help Zhao Zilong, and Kong Ming appoints 5,000 of the best troops and 10 officers to assist and to protect the old warrior. News soon reaches Cao Rui of the attack by 300,000 men, and that the vanguard under Zhao Zilong and Deng Ji has already crossed the border. At his own request, Xiahou Mao is given permission to lead the defense. He especially wants this role because he seeks revenge for his father, Xiahou Yuan, who died when Xuanda took Guanzhong. Xiahou Mao is renowned for his ferocious temper and for being very tight-fisted. He is also married to a sister of Cao Rui. So he is put in charge despite others, including a leading minister, pointing out that the young man has no relevant experience, especially when confronting someone as skillful as Kong Ming. Xiahou Mao deflects this by asking whether the minister is himself in league with Kong Ming. If I don't take Kong Ming alive, then I'll never return to see the Son of Heaven, cries Xiahou Mao. And this forces the others into silence. Seizing the white flags of war. Does this shallow youth have the ability? We shall find out.